Hi, this is Andrew Atwood with the Work with the Pro Team Center 21 Atwood. Today I'm here with Erin Sinnwell, the Executive Director of Family Promise. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is and what you do?
Family Promise Rochester is a nonprofit that helps families experiencing homelessness. We own a shelter we call the North Star House. It's by the United Way building, and we can have 3 families at a time. We were previously known as IHN, or Interfaith Hospitality Network, for about 20 years in the community. The families would stay at different churches for a week at a time. When COVID hit, we kind of had to change things, so we bought that new property in 2020 where families are staying, and we're now considered a static site, so we don't do the church rotation model anymore. To be part of our program, you have to either be pregnant in your 3rd trimester or have children, and it can be any sort of family unit. It can be it can be a grandparent that's watching a child. It can be a single parent. It can be a whole family unit.
Could you tell us more about what you talked a little bit about the qualifications in order to get in there, but what does the North Star House provide in accommodations and food, shelter, things?
Yeah.
What it
is. So for our families, like I said, we can have 3 at a time. We do case management, which would be kind of whatever their obstacles are. That's usually helping with affordable housing, finding jobs, daycare. Sometimes English isn't a first language, so like getting documents, birth certificates, driver's licenses. And of course we offer meals, shelter. We have twice monthly life skill classes, which to me is my favorite part of the program, which is what I kind of think sets us apart. To us, it's really important to provide education in addition to kind of the basic necessities. So families that are currently in shelter are required to attend life skill classes, and graduate families are invited to come back. And we definitely find that people are coming back, which is really exciting for us. So I would say each class we usually have between 40 to 50 individuals. We've found that a lot of times families come right from work or getting their kids from school, so we've started providing a free meal. So we start out with a free meal, and then we divide into 3 groups. The adults go for an education piece. Kids 7 through 18 have usually like a craft or an activity, and then 7 under are just kind of supervised play. The education is different every time. We do parenting classes, we do food prep and cooking. Really important to us is kind of financing, balancing a budget, insurance, health and safety, and we just really feel that these classes are what helps keeps families from falling back into homelessness, is providing this education piece.
Super valuable. Even those small skills like cooking, wish I knew a lot more of that, or just hemming a button or something. The small things that can save you a lot of time. What got you started in the volunteering and it kind of started the whole thing? Like, what was that driving factor that brought you there?
I have 3 kids, and I just think it was really fun for us to take our kids with when we volunteer, and that's something that people can do as long as you're with your child the whole time. They could come to volunteer and meet the families and whatnot. I just think it's really important to get our children started early on, seeing that we are privileged, we have everything we need, so what can we do to give back to our community? And it's been a really neat experience for my family. A lot of times, my kids are excited to go back because they recognize families that have been through the program but that are still coming back to life skill classes. So, you make some really neat relationships. It's a good example, I think, too, for your kids to see you volunteering and getting out there in the community and making a difference.
How long have you been there at Family Promise?
So my husband, my family and I started volunteering probably about 10 years ago through our church when we were doing the church rotation model that I mentioned. I was a volunteer, and then I was asked to be on the board of directors, and then I was the board president and then interim executive director, which I started in May. And I feel really passionate about the organization. We're small, not a lot of people have heard of us. Also, the word family is a little confusing because I think our name change was a big obstacle for us, because there's family services or some other nonprofits and agencies that use the word family. But I just feel really passionate about what we do. We provide very intense case management to a small amount of people at a time, and I feel like it makes kind of a life-changing, it's life-changing for them. As far as staying in the program, we kind of do a 30-day check-in. So 30, 60, 90 days, 120. So as long as families are making progress, whether it be, if they're applying for jobs, as long as they're showing progress, then they can continue to be in the program.
Do you have a favorite memory that you've 10 years?
Yeah, you know, probably those life skill classes that I mentioned. I feel like that's where I really get get to know people. I mentioned that we do like crafts or activities with like the 7 to 18-year-olds, and it gets kind of messy and it gets kind of crazy. We did snow globes. We had a volunteer come in and we did like snow globe making, and it was awesome, but there was like glitter and stuff and like mess everywhere. But I mean, but they love it. We had someone from the RAC donate their time and teach a yoga class to the kids, and I was so impressed. Even though it might not have been everyone's favorite thing, they all tried it. So just seeing, you know, that they're willing to do it, and I just love that our community is getting a little more involved as well. You know, they're able to teach skills and classes on things that we can't.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have any obstacles you're currently trying to overcome?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we can only help 3 families at a time, and we have a waiting list. And for example, right now our waiting list is at 24. The homelessness crisis in Rochester it's bigger than we think, especially for families and kids. One of our things is that we would like to grow. We would like to be able to have, you know, more space, then of course mean more staff and more, you know, ongoing operational costs and whatnot. But so that's one thing that we're currently working on, is seeing, you know, if we can possibly acquire a different space, a bigger space, or a new build, because we really want to be able to help more people and have more impact than we have right now.
Well, that certainly leads into the next question. What are the goals?
Goals. Part of it is getting our name out there, which is awesome. What this is what this video is for. There are so many people that I meet in town, and I think, who are you? What do you do? And I tell them, and they've never heard of Family Promise, which makes me sad, because you know, we do a lot, but like I said, there's quite a few other nonprofits and agencies in town. Growing our program, growing our volunteer base. We do have a lot of volunteers. We have things such as meal delivery, where people cook a meal, they can bring ingredients and bring a recipe, and families can make the meal there. They could just have something delivered if they, you know, if you're busy, don't have time, but want to just like, you know, get some pizza delivered. That always makes the kids happy anyway, when it's like pizza night. At our life skill classes that I mentioned, we're looking for volunteers for that, whether it be you know, a business that wants to donate like a meal for it, or if someone has a class or a skill that they would like to teach, in addition to just kind of having extra hands there for when things get crazy and messy with the kids.
Absolutely. So tell us how to get a hold of you if people want to volunteer time or make a donation.
Yeah, that would all be on our website, which is www.fprochestermn.org.
Okay. .org.
Yes, yep, but that's all on there. Email addresses and phone numbers, and if you want to give right online, there's Sign Up Geniuses right on there too, for people who wanted to do meals or something like that too.
Wonderful. That's awesome. Well, thank you again for stopping in and telling us a little bit more about you and Family Promise in Rochester.
Thank you. Thanks.